Oh, no.
Hello there, rat boy. Welcome to the relationship we have.
What?
Yes, a relationship that we have, obviously. Come on.
How have you found the Cave of Delusion is my main question here. Because only I know about it and Minuscule Circle. And where is Minuscule Circle? What have you done with him?
None of that matters, baby. What's your favorite color?
Oh my god, I can't believe you've asked me that. Oh, that must mean you love me, right? Right?
That is not correct.
Before we even begin, look at the screen. The victim looks like she's mid-sneeze. So you just know there's gonna be some nonsense that we're gonna be allergic to. Achoo! I choose to not subject myself to this, but here we are.
He basically demanded that I send him my paycheck.
That's not good.
Frank made me feel wanted. I still wanted to believe him, and I still had cash on hand. So I went to my bank. I withdrew all the money outside of $1 from my bank account. I took a screenshot of it to show him that I had no money and that I had sent him $680.
What's up, Seekers? It's Wednesday, so
Actually, yeah. I mean, at the time of recording this, it is actually a Wednesday for me. That's crazy. Just immediately off the bat, Frank wanted you. No, he wanted your money and your paycheck. Goodness me, what a way to intro your little interview segment. Just boom, boom, boom. I've literally emptied my bank account outside of $1, which $1 I don't even think can get you much nowadays. Maybe a burger from somewhere, I don't know. But you've been burgered, haven't you? You are the meat. Smash patty, Frank is the buns, all over you. That's somewhere that makes sense. And not all over her in the sense of dirtiness. What's dirty is the fact that he's demanded the paycheck and she's willingly gone, you know what? I still have some money left in my account. Let me empty that out for you. I don't think there is ever a better time than now to use that stupid, disgusting, strange metaphor of, goodness me, you've well and truly opened yourself up for him, haven't you?
know what that means. We're back with another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
Okay.
On today's episode, we speak to a 50-year-old woman named Kristina from Canada.
Kristina.
Who met someone on OkCupid who stole photos from a man named Richard.
Oh.
The two have been communicating for months, but Kristina is having...
Hold on. The Superman logo is on fire. I think that's a metaphor. You thought he was your knight in shining armor. No, it all crashed and burned.
This is great banter.
What is that name? J. Franklin Acrity. Is the J supposed to be there? I've got no idea. Maybe we should just hit the J. And maybe this will all seem better. We can calm ourselves down. Don't look at me like that, Kristina. I had nothing to do with this.
For months, but Kristina is having doubts about Franklin's true identity after sending him money for offloading shipping containers. As you know, people get their images stolen all the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Kristina, Richard was also a victim in this story.
True.
Our social catfish team will stop this scammer from stealing any more money from Kristina and put a stop to this scam.
Okay.
Real quick, guys. Don't forget to like,
Go
comment,
do that.
and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
You already are. I've dribbled water on myself already, so that's a great start to the video. I just want to point out, thankfully, Drew said there, we can put a stop to Kristina being scammed, because if he said that we can put a stop to the scammer from scamming again, how likely is that? You know, once in a blue moon, maybe a scammer will have some morals drilled into their skull. But let's hear more of Kristina's story and why she fell for Frank. Show me.
What did that just mean?
My name is Kristina. In my spare time, outside of work, I enjoy fishing. In my free time, I do travel into the city to go and see live theater.
Like a crocodile or
I spend
something?
time at home with my children.
Oh.
I was married for 18 years.
Hold on a second. There's too much. First of all, I'm gonna move out of the way, right? Can you see? Like there's a saw behind her or something. I don't know if Jigsaw has decided to wreak havoc upon this story. Why does there look like a mechanical blade behind you? Okay, let's go backwards a bit, because I'm very intrigued by this picture. I assume some sort of reenactment is going on, but there's pew-pews. I should probably not stay on this screen any longer than that.
I was married for 18 years, and then after that divorce, I was engaged to another fellow. We were together for 12 years. In the last 2 years, since I've been single, I just wanted companionship, somebody to talk to.
Right. Any reason why they ended?
I am currently not dating anybody at all.
Okay.
I'm home alone. Well, I have children in the house, but I'm the only adult here. I work full time. There's no social life. So yes, friendship, companionship, like just somebody to spend some time with, somebody to talk to outside of children, somebody to fill that void. So I looked at the online dating app that a friend had referred me to, and that's where I met Frank.
Right. I'm going to stop you there, Kristina3847. The rest of the 3,846 Kristinas in the world, please take heed of my words here. With a pinch of salt, because I ain't a relationship guru, of course. I understand the want for a companionship, you know, outside of children and stuff. You want that romantic vibe, but not by any means necessary. Okay, you still gotta watch out for red flags, because you make very rash decisions when seemingly you are chasing that sort of connection, and I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to ever chase romance, because again, you make very rash decisions, and you sort of give the vibe of, do you really want this love, in quotations, or are you just looking to fill the void by any means necessary? So please, you'll know when the time is right, or at least I would hope so. A lot of these victims say it was the right time, but we obviously can see that it's not. So let's see, in before they add more numbers to her name and then I just look like a fool.
When I first met Frank, I found that he was quite charming, just a gentleman.
Okay. Dog? Woof?
He didn't cross any lines. He just was nice in general.
Okay.
It was just a nice conversation. There was no expectations from anybody. It was just getting to know each other. You know, what do you like to do? Do you have family? Were you married before? What's your occupation?
Hold on a second. Obviously, there are cheaters who exist in this world, but that's sort of a strange question to ask someone on a dating site. Are you married? Isn't it? Let me know in the comments. I'm not really sure what was happening there.
Favorite colors, even. He asked me favorite colors. He asked me what my favorite flowers were.
Oh my god!
He is 6 feet tall.
Oh, goodness me. That question has put me 6 foot under. How about that? Oh, he asked your favorite color, so that must mean this is genuine. You really brought some enthusiasm when you were talking about the favorite color as well. You know, sometimes I wrestle with parts of my brain because parts of them just wonder, maybe I am talking too much in these videos, but then another part of my brain will suplex that part and be like, shush, it's a commentary. You can speak, big boy. And then another part of my brain is like, goodness me, maybe we're psychoanalyzing these victims too deep. Because there is another alternate universe where H is a kinky therapist and he likes to psychoanalyze deep. Do you get it? It's so funny, isn't it? But times like this is when I have to question what the hell is going on. And, you know, we can get deep as much as we want because I have to question why. A color, the question is making you fall head over heels. It's giving very desperate, which piggybacks off of what I was saying earlier. It seems like by any means necessary, you're just trying to fill a void here. Now, this reminds me of back in uni or back at school. you know, you get put on a table with people you don't know. The teacher is like, get to know one another. And you're all just sat there twiddling your fingers and thumbs like, so what's your favorite color, guys? That's what it gives me. I don't know, obviously, what goes on in the dating game. Maybe that's such a flirtatious question. What's your favorite color? It's got some kind of hidden connotation. And like, oh my god, I'm now gushing because your favorite color is green or something. Someone let me know, because I really don't think that is... Okay, maybe I've actually psychoanalyzed this too much. Basically, can we stop falling in love with people just because they ask colors and flowers? Wake up and smell the roses. That's a saying, right?
He looks like possibly a huskier man.
Oh,
Very handsome, clean cut, like very well groomed.
Initially, Frank came off as a gentleman. He was everything that Kristina was interested in, and that's what kept her chatting with him every single day.
sure.
Frank made me feel wanted. Even with our time differences, I had my phone under my pillow when I would go to bed so that I could hear when he would message me, so that we could just have a brief conversation just about our day.
Well, I'd recommend you don't do that, actually. Obviously, I don't know the science behind it, but I probably don't think it's a good idea to keep your phone that close to your head like that. I'm just saying, but I'm not I don't know the facts behind that. I'm just guessing. Just as you guessed Frank is in love with you. So we're all making guesses here.
He would start with, how are you today? How's your daughter?
Have you eaten?
How was work? What did you have for breakfast was his biggest question. He always asked me what I had
same
for
thing,
breakfast.
basically.
I kept telling him I don't eat breakfast, but...
Oh, same. I don't eat breakfast, but you've actually been eating a big pile of shit this entire time for breakfast, because you are getting absolutely swindled right as soon as the sun comes up. Goodness me. Daughters? I assume you obviously told him about your daughters. Let's just keep it at that. There's been a few stories. I think I remember one in particular where Donnie freaking drew someone's daughter, and I would say rightfully slow. Rightfully so. I flipped the lid, but a lot of people said, it's just a drawing and stuff. Yeah, but I don't want strangers drawing my kids. Do you know what I mean? So if this ends up delving into creepiness further, I'm gonna lose my lid even more. And instead of a pile of shit serving you for breakfast, I'm gonna serve you an absolute stinking pile of waffle, because you won't hear the end of me.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
He asked anyways. At the beginning, I was
What is
starting
that?
to tear up floors in my house, and he was concerned with me doing this work myself. At one point, he had told me to hire a contractor to finish doing my floors, and that he would pay for them to finish doing my floors because he didn't want me to hurt myself.
Okay, sorry, I might be reading too much into this. I don't want you hurting yourself. Isn't Frank giving off vibes here of some kind of like, oh, you can't do this because you're a woman type vibe? I don't want you hurting yourself. If it was a man, right? Ooh, manly. Would Frank offer the same thing? Would he say, I don't want you hurting yourself? I understand he's trying to be romantic in a way here, but I actually think it's doing the opposite. It gives me the vibe that he thinks she can't do construction type things. But, okay, sure, Frank.
Want me to hurt myself.
Shut up.
There was never any nicknames. I think one time
thank goodness.
out of all of our conversations, which were daily
Don't do
for
it.
the longest time, he called me baby.
Oh.
Only once.
Why was it once?
My daughter, she knows of Frank only because he sent flowers to the house.
Sorry?
We all want that happily ever after. He seems like he could be my forever. We got along so well. We could talk about anything. And then he started asking for money, and that all went downhill
Right away, I assume she's gonna say. I don't appreciate the fact that flowers were sent to the home if your kids are living at home. Do you know what I mean? She did mention the kids are not exactly adults. Don't really know their age. Maybe they're in their teens or something. But I have an issue with that. But you guys will let me know if I'm doing too much here. I really don't appreciate that. And you've kind of delved into the creepiness aspect I was talking about. If you've got kids in the home, can we stop giving out addresses to people? I know you want to meet this guy, but I don't see a reason you'd give your address. I know, oh, look, he said, oh, I'd send you flowers or something. I don't know, I wouldn't do that, me personally, because, yeah, you could send flowers, but there's a whole host of instances in this world where people get very bad things sent to their homes. So, please, don't give out your address to strangers, okay? Shush. How about that?
Frank's request for money started after a month of Kristina communicating with him online.
So to put it in perspective, our very first conversation was April 27th. And the first time that he had asked me for money was the first week of June.
Wow.
I did send money on June the 14th. That was the first time.
At least he waited until
He
June.
told me he was opening up car dealerships in other countries. He had told me in May that he had shipped cars from Seattle to Accra, Ghana. When they arrived over there, he was going over there. And when it came to unloading these containers, they were asking for duty, which he fell short on. So he needed, I think it was $10,000 is what he needed. I sent him $500 Canadian, which went from my account to apparently their account, which he claims they did not get.
Okay, I can tell you what you didn't get, and that's a grip of yourself, and you should be always getting that. Okay, so she's Canadian. That really has no relevance other than, oh, Canada. What are you doing here? There was a Toronto joke I was going to make. Something about the Blue Jays came into my head for something. He left you feeling blue. And the J from earlier, J Franklin, that's where the J comes in, because Toronto or something. I don't even know if she's from Toronto. Let's move on past Canada, shall we? Because I'm waffling here.
Thank you.
I really want to stress to everyone that it seems like Frank doesn't have a grip of his own life here. Because if he wants to open up car dealerships, goodness me, it seems as if he's only spoke to you for the sole purpose of getting money. Doesn't it seem like that? I know that might be a shocker to the system for some people. Yeah, he's not actually in love with her, goodness me.
Really?
But you have no sense of, like, responsibility in your life because you want to do something and you don't even have the financial means to do it, and you're just waiting for someone else to just borrow money from them. That doesn't seem like someone you should, build a life together with, because it seems like you're getting off on the very wrong foot. Let me know your thoughts, of course. Goodness me.
Frank claimed he never received the $500
Why is he getting
that
angry?
Kristina sent to him.
3 question
He said
marks.
the wire transfer to this bank account never went through to his account.
Well,
He told Kristina that he needed her to send the wire transfer again, but it didn't stop there.
So I resent the 500.
Stop it. I don't understand why it's so hard for you to do what I tell you. You're going to have to send me more money now. Okay, going off of the fact earlier he was saying, oh, I don't want you to hurt yourself, and then this kind of thing. I don't know why it's so hard for you to do what I tell you. The scammer obviously is pretending to be Frank, right? But the scammer is also giving very huge misogynistic vibes. That might just be me and I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think anyone should be telling someone else, I don't know why it's so hard for you to do what I'm telling you to. Are you a king? Huh? You can infer from that whatever you want. Incoming comments. Woke! Yeah, I'm awake. So many things just happened there. I urge everyone to recognize their self-worth, because reading messages like this upsets me. But on the flip side, when I put myself sort of in the victim's shoes, I don't want people to accept this kind of bullshit, because for future relationships, relationships in quotations, because obviously this isn't one, But for future instances, you're just going to excuse a lot of nonsense because you've excused it in the past. This hurts me reading this. Please, everyone. This is not only verbal abuse, it's financial abuse as well. And if you need professional support to escape a quote-unquote relationship that you might be in that is similar to this, I hope you can get that support as soon as possible.
To a different bank account that he'd provided me. That 500 he did receive and told me he received it. I have all their banking information as well, both bank accounts. That was the end of July that he asked for more. He needed another $10,000 or something, $9,000, and had asked me to ask my boss for a loan, saying that I needed help.
I can't obviously stress enough how much you should not do that. It's a very big pet peeve of mine when victims bring in other people to their nonsense. If you're getting scammed on your own accord, you know, you've been a fool. I like to say you don't always have to be a fool. You've learnt from it, hopefully anyway, and you can navigate future experiences a little bit better. But when you start using inheritances, for example, you start pawning off things that belong to others. I mean, recently we've looked at someone who, was it Ron, his name? He told his daughter, yeah, sell your car, when he had a car he could have sold himself. You're taking the piss here. Do you know what I mean? I hope she didn't do that because you're jeopardizing your employment here as well.
Told him all I had was my paycheck. He basically demanded that I send him my paycheck.
Bro, you need to send me the money or I'm going to be pissed. Please, everyone, do not accept this kind of behavior. I don't care if you feel like you love someone or not. Au contraire, if you loved them and they loved you back, this wouldn't be happening.
I won't be able to pay bills. I won't make my car payment. I won't make my rent. He said, that's okay. I'll give all this back to you in a couple of days once I sort everything out.
I don't think it works like that.
You won't have to worry about car payments and rent again.
No. I don't think it works like that, Frank. I mean, you clearly have the financial responsibility of a straw because you ain't got a Scooby what's going on. I don't think you can tell the landlord, hey, can you just hold off on the rent payments because I need to wait for my online lover to get back to me with the money he's promised me. It don't work like that. The landlord's going to kick you out of that place.
Frank was supposedly a businessman with tons of funds.
He's a shit businessman.
This is why Kristina felt comfortable with lending him money.
What?
He would frequently poke at Kristina's income. Frank told her that it was nothing compared to the amount of money he was bringing home.
You can't be saying this when you are the person asking for money. Like, we don't live in Australia. Shit is backwards here.
Then told her that he was hiding the amount of cars that was in the shipment. He was shipping 120 cars, making his payout 4 times the amount that he initially told Kristina about. But he would need a little more money to finish this project, and then they could start their life together.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why there's a time frame given on when they can start building a relationship. I don't know what's going on there. There's a deadline. I actually will retract what I said about Australia. I got that backwards. Australia is upside down, not backwards. But could you argue things that are upside down are backwards? There's something to ponder in the shower or when you're hitting that J. Is Australia upside down or backwards? Depending on which way you're facing, it is backwards. Shut up now.
He knows my birth date.
Why?
He knows my house address because he sent me flowers.
Yeah, you see, this is the concern.
Give him copies of the receipts of the transfers. I mean, I disclosed probably way too much to him, like knowing that I had mutual funds in place. And he did ask me to cash them in and send it to him, which I told him I couldn't do that till I was 50.
Isn't she 50?
On my 50th birthday, he sent me a beautiful email wishing me a happy birthday and how he wished that he could be here.
Goodness. Can I read this?
And then,
yeah, I'm gonna read it, let's be honest. Good afternoon. Hopefully my email finds you well. I had wanted to be the first to wish you a happy birthday, But unfortunately, at 4 a.m., which makes it 12 a.m. over there, I sat to send off a message and noticed the internet was off. I don't think that makes any sense. Whose internet was off? Hers? Yours? You need to make more sense here, Franklin.
And then the next paragraph was he was sorry that he was still stuck in Ghana. The third paragraph is, can you send me $1,300?
Right, imagine on your
I
birthday.
still wanted to believe him, and I still had cash on hand. So I went to my bank. I withdrew all the money outside of $1 from my bank account. I took a screenshot of it to show him that I had no money and that I had sent him $680. So I made it look like I had that money deposited into my account as a paycheck.
What?
And that I withdrew it all to send it all to him, and it left me with $1. So he thought that I had nothing left.
So he thought I had nothing left. So you didn't actually do that. I'm very confused on what's... She's trying to scam the scammer. That's what I think here. But regardless of that, no, because we've seen it in other episodes, can we not empty our bank accounts despite recognizing the freaking destitute that we're going to put ourselves in? If you got rent and stuff to pay, for example, you know, you don't empty your bank accounts, please. I think that's a given, obviously, but I feel like I have to stress it because some people might get swept up in something that is perceived to be love in their own head. And it's just not the way to go about loving someone, you know? Yes, $1.
He's told me that he has a brother and a sister.
Relevance?
Car dealership in Seattle, he says he inherited from his father.
Oh.
The one in Toronto, he bought.
Oh, we are
Until
in
this
Toronto.
day, Frank promises to give all of the money back that he borrowed. He also claims he will be coming home soon so they can start a life together.
What is this?
I believed his...
You believe nothing. Oh, well, you did. Once all of these cars are sold, I'll spoil you, baby. What is happening here? Why is there another deadline now? There's another requirement that needs to be had. What if the cars don't all get sold? What happens then? The relationship just withers away, does it? Like the flowers you were talking about earlier. Please, everyone, if someone would, they would. But that doesn't mean you set unrealistic expectations, okay? I've been seeing a lot recently online where the younger peeps, goodness me, I'm saying that as if, God, I mean, they are younger than me. So that makes me feel shit inside. You know, I have this thing where I very much preach to everyone, you shouldn't be afraid to grow older, because a lot of these victims are obsessed with like hanging on to their youth and whatnot. But because I'm scared of death, I mean, obviously I could die tomorrow. Then you need to wonder how this video got edited and put online. I've been robbed, and the burglars have decided to upload a video for me. Thanks, I guess. But because I'm scared to die, obviously death comes naturally as you get older and whatnot. But yeah, my phone is doing up ping ping. It's the Grim Reaper. Oh, I'm turning this hella morbid.
Good job, little buddy.
Okay, so I took some time there. The phone pinging off was an email, so I had to respond to that. And I've come back now, and I've actually got no idea what the hell I was talking about. So we're just going to carry on. Or so you thought. Editing H here now, interjecting with what the hell I was actually saying in that moment before I disappeared. The whole if they would thing, and me mentioning younger peeps, for example, but I don't necessarily think it's just the younger peeps, but I've been seeing it a lot more, you know, those discussions, you know, those type of things, but it can be anyone really. When you set unrealistic expectations because perhaps you've seen online on social media, someone you might follow, for example, has a certain lifestyle, or you've come across some viral video of someone in a completely different walk of life living a certain way, and you've now attributed their lifestyle to what you want. You know, you want this lavish life, whatever. And I mention, obviously, the younger peeps because a lot of younger peeps I see very much struggling to get a job and feeling insecure about that because they might have a partner that wants a certain luxury item. You know what I mean? Like they see it online, so they must have it because they think that's what makes a relationship good and whatnot. But again, it's not just the younger peeps. It can be anyone. Social media, a lot of times, can be a detriment to your perception on the most simple of things. Relationships are built off love, respect, consideration. If you're expecting your partner to do up a madness, for example, you're both 17 and you want a freaking first class flight to Dubai or something, where is the consideration? You know what I mean? I hope I've made sense there. But, you know, you would expect sense. Editing H usually makes more sense, but I hope that makes sense. Basically, stop setting unrealistic expectations, okay? Even catfish victims thinking they can get with someone in their 20s and they're like 60s. You know, let's just all get a grip, shall we?
His stories, and when he had told me that his ex-wife had taken money out of his bank account and that he had set up security features on his bank account, I believed him. So when he initially asked me to help him, I didn't think twice about it. Like,
you should
I
always
just sent him what I felt
think
comfortable
twice,
sending.
please.
The last conversation that I had with him was October 1st. He was still said that he needed $1,300 by that Monday. I told him I didn't have it. And even if I did have it, I couldn't get to a bank because I had to work. His response was, a half hour out of your day will not get you fired.
God.
And if it does get you fired, there's no need to worry about that anymore. Just go send me the $1,300.
I can't obviously stress enough how much of a red flag all of his messages are. Donnie saying half an hour out your day won't get you fired, as if he is your boss. What are you talking about? And all these promises of you going to take care of her are just false promises right now, because you've done no taking care of her. Remember, actions speak louder than words. And holding on to the promise of an online stranger, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. In you know, some cases, actually, people do end up finding the love of their life online. But look at the channel we're watching, okay?
I said, I might have $300 at my house. And he said, well, then send that $300 on Monday.
Also, do you know how much of a red flag that is that she said that? You obviously, this scammer, I don't realistically know how likely they are to be turning up at your doorstep, yeah? But someone you've never met has your address. Don't be saying you've got money in the house, please. I don't recommend you should do that either.
If you were to tell me that Frank was real, then I would probably have to apologize to him.
No, you should
for calling him
leave,
ungenuine,
actually.
and claiming that he was swindling money out of multiple people.
Swindling?
Well, Seekers, we had some work to do.
Oh,
There were
sure,
so
tattoos.
many red flags, and we knew there was no way Frank was telling the truth. Kristina had her doubts, but we had to get rid of any thought she had left of Frank being who he claimed to be. We noticed that most of the photos that Kristina had of Frank were of lower resolution, but that wasn't a problem. We popped all of the images into our reverse image search, and we were able to find out the truth about this man in minutes. If you or anyone else you know feel like you could be involved in a romance scam, we recommend you use our sponsor site, socialcatfish.com. Most of the tools
It's
we
always
use to bust these
interesting
scammers
to
can be found
hear
here. You can support our team and protect yourself online
the
by picking up
sponsor
a
here.
membership for yourself. Next, we looked into
Oh.
this bank that Kristina was transferring the money to, and it was in fact a real bank in Ghana. We sent a link to Kristina to send to Frank so we could track down his location, but he refused to click on it. Although he didn't click on it, we still felt confident that we had all the information we needed to show Kristina that he was a scammer, so we sat down with her to go over everything we found.
Real quick, guys.
Oh.
Don't forget to like, comment, and
go do
subscribe.
that.
Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed.
But you already
Let's
are.
get into it.
But you already
I
are.
just wanted to get some updates from you as far as what you and Franklin are currently talking about.
Nothing. He has not messaged me back.
Damn.
Gotcha. We tried to send the link, and unfortunately, he didn't click on it.
He hasn't read it at all.
This guy would not click on the FU gift cards link. After hundreds of videos, we finally ran into someone who knew what the link was.
Oh, this
When
is the first
was the
time.
last time you spoke to Franklin?
October 2nd now.
And what was that conversation like?
He had asked me how much money I had in the house,
What?
and then he had asked me to send that to him.
What?
And I told him that I wasn't going to send it because that's all I had. And the last response I got from him was okay. And then nothing ever again.
What a lover.
So where do you think your feelings lie with Franklin today?
I was a little bit anxious when you guys had sent me that link to send to him. I was anxious about sending it to him and what was going to happen. Like really nervous.
Okay, so Kristina, I'd like
I mean,
to
'cause he
walk
has
you
your
through some of
address.
the research that we found for this case. Starting off with, the transfer and the banking information. We feel that the money that was sent over to this other person is what we know as a money mule. Most likely either accepting money for Franklin or sending money off to someone else. Also, likewise, the flowers that you had received from a person named Nelson, we also feel that that person is a money mule as well.
In a romance scam, money mules play one of the biggest parts in the scam. Kristina received flowers from Franklin. It's normal for romance scammers to send gifts. The flowers and gifts almost always come from another person in a scam, thinking they're sending flowers for another reason. Here's a quick breakdown. The scammer will make several different profiles with several different aliases. They will find a potential victim and begin building a relationship with them. This is Todd. He thinks he is in an online relationship with a woman named Heather.
I could tell you for free, that's not Todd. If you know of Todd, if you have the mispleasure of knowing Todd, you've probably seen that episode.
AKA one of the fake profiles from the scammer. Through Heather's fake profile, the scammer will tell Todd that her mother is sick. Todd will send Heather's mother's flowers as a gift. Kristina is then gifted these flowers and thanks Frank for them. This builds trust, and the scammer gains more legitimacy through both of his victims.
I'd also like to jump into the bank. We looked into Stanbic Bank. That's a verified bank. It's a legitimate bank located in Ghana. They also have other locations as well throughout the world.
When you received the routing number and, how to transfer everything to the bank, did any red flags ring off when you saw that it was to Accra, Ghana?
No, because he had told me he was there.
Got you.
He went from Toronto to Seattle, and then he'd shipped the cars from Seattle over to Ghana, and that he had
Look at the
messaged
dog.
me and said that he had to fly over to Ghana, and
Who's
then
Philip?
that's where he was staying with his friend, who he calls Philip.
I went and Googled the bank, and they actually had reviews. Everyone had some kind of issue with this bank, whether it be getting the transfer to the bank or the customer service doesn't exist.
This bank is real, but let's just say it's not on the up and up.
When I first met you, Kristina, you said that if Franklin was real, you'd be owing him an apology.
Which is crazy, by the way. I understand that she has obviously seemingly fallen in love with this Frank, but the way he's treated her, I really want everyone to recognize just how detrimental you are being to your own self as well for sticking around with such a person. Now, obviously, it gets complicated when you're in a marriage maybe and there's children involved. Financially, you can't just up and leave. For example, I've seen some stories where people just can't financially because, the sack of shit is bringing in majority of the income. But in a case like this where it's solely online, just close that door. Yeah, close that virtual door, draw the curtains on the interwebs and just leave that person be, because you shouldn't be, what's that word? I was going to say succumbing yourself. That sounds dirty, but you shouldn't allow yourself to accept BS like this, especially online,
Yes.
Well, we're here today to tell you that you will not be owing anyone an apology.
Okay, good.
The real person in the images is a man named Richard.
Oh, okay.
Oftentimes, we find the real person in the images. And in this case, we were able to find this person's true identity.
And Richard has his own life. He has a business, and he unfortunately probably deals with this a lot. Most of the images that Franklin sent you, they were actually found all on his social media. So this person is stealing this person's images and sending you, photos of this guy and using an alias.
Gotcha. So even though they were time stamped or date stamped, it wasn't, obviously. The last 2 images that were sent to me on my birthday, and the images were date stamped.
Those images, the original images, are on Richard's social media. It looks like what they did was they went into some very simple program and just wrote that text down there. I don't even think you need to use Photoshop,
Microsoft Paint,
to timestamp those the way they did.
Time-stamping photos is a common tactic scammers use. You can easily timestamp a photo through your smartphone.
Yeah.
Frank took the photo of Richard and put the date at the bottom of the photo. This made Kristina believe that the photos were actually taken that day.
Hold on. Like, looking at this, right? That image seems too clear to have the date stamped on it. I don't know. Am I dumb here? Like, I feel like usually when you see a date stamped, it's like CCTV footage or, old school cameras. I don't know. Maybe let me know in the comments. I don't think a picture this clear would have that. But
Did we ever find out about, like, when he phoned me, that phone number? Because it came back as a Seattle number.
Yeah, so that did pop up as a Seattle number, but it was also a VoIP number, which is an internet phone number.
Okay. So if I called that number back, it would be him that would answer, possibly.
Possibly.
VoIP phone numbers are free for anyone to use. They can change their number to match any location in the world the scammer is claiming to be in. You can figure out if you're talking to someone with a VoIP phone number by running a number search on our site. It will tell you right away if someone is using one of these numbers. And if I would also say just don't pick up numbers that you don't know. Obviously, it gets a bit convoluted when you're waiting for a job, for example, to call you back after an interview or something and you don't know their number. But if that was the case, they'd leave a message. But just probably, don't pick up weird looking numbers at the very least. It's a huge red flag, and you're probably talking to a scammer.
I appreciate everything that you've done.
And like I said, you're not owing anyone an apology today.
Well,
that's the best part.
You shouldn't anyway.
Part of me was hoping that he was a real person because he kept saying that the money would come back. He'd
No.
give it back. And then I always kept saying to myself that, no, you're not getting it back, so don't even worry about it.
Correct.
And then I'm happy to know that my instincts were right and that I stopped it.
Well,
and I didn't send more money.
I'm glad it stopped at some point, but it's a common theme on these stories that victims realize just too late. Okay, once they get into a position financially where they're really harming themselves, that's when they seem to realize this isn't good. So please, if you're living a comfortable life, don't jeopardize that comfortability for the comfortability of so-called love. Oh, that's the quote. It makes sense in my head.
I appreciate everything for sure, because anything that I looked for,
Look at the dog.
I couldn't find anything. Like the Franklin accuracy never even came up.
I don't know if you saw the dog. The dog was yawning. And I'm tired in real life. Let's not make this morbid.
If I Googled the name, I couldn't find anything. Day by day, that's all it is now. No more money. I've already told them all I have no money. I'm broke.
Who is there more?
So,
This scam is officially over.
Is it?
Kristina has blocked Frank and moved on. He still claims that
But has
he will
she
meet with
learned?
Kristina after the cars are sold and pay her all of her money back. Kristina is now taking a break from online dating and spending more time with her kids. We turned over all the information that we had on the bank and Frank to the authorities in Ghana. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go out
Tuesday.
every Wednesday. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Go do that.
All right, Seekers. We'll see you guys next time.
But you already are. It's actually funny because Wednesdays is not even the thing anymore. It's Thursdays, which, kind of puts a strain. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not in a video because, like, we're breaking so many walls right now. I don't know when this is coming out, but it kind of puts a strain because, like, Thursday, 2 p.m., whatever time they upload, it's late at night here, and I don't always have the opportunity to film, so I film it like early Friday, but then I got work, and then like to edit it for Saturday morning, it's like it gets so I don't know, we might change the days of uploads to now be Sunday based off of that, but we'll see, right? I'll keep you guys posted, of course. I'll now head over to the original video and see what the peeps are saying over there. I don't necessarily know if the scam is over. Maybe, in a sense, yes, this one. But did she learn from this? The red flags. They didn't necessarily... I know it's an older episode, so I'm kind of just chucking words at the wall here for no reason. But they kind of didn't say to her that, hey, even if this was real, you ain't getting your money back, blah, blah, blah. Even if this was real, this person is very abusive. So hopefully she realized that on her own accord, but I guess we'll never know. Kristina, if somehow you stumble across this commentary, how are you? I'll see you guys in a jiffy for the tantalizing talk. Tantalizing talk time, but before we get into that, just a few things right off the bat here. Ungenuine, randomly whilst reading the comments, ungenuine popped into my head, and I remembered that's what she said. I don't think I paused it in the commentary, and it's quite concerning that I don't remember what the hell just happened like 20 minutes ago or something. But is that a real word? I don't think it sounds ungenuine, if I say so. And then also, don't comment about my hair. Okay, usually I'm wearing a hat recently. It's a little bit more warmer today. I don't know. It's like a little bob. Is that what you call it? Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder has constructed this monstrosity, I tell you that much. Now we begin the comments. Nothing makes me fall in love faster than someone I've never met telling me to give them money. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you want that? It's the epitome of love and relationships. Give me your money. Gosh. Like we're being too harsh on Kristina there. No, but seriously. I'd go as far as to say even in person. There's a limit, if we're 6 months down the line, I think I've said this before, and you ask for money, and it's like a small amount or something. Sure, I might help you out if it's a genuine sounding reason. But then, we need to put an asterisk on that because there are stories where people are in relationships, or they seem to be, and the other person swindles them for money and fakes diseases and whatnot. So, it's just, in an ideal world, there wouldn't be sacks of shit, but unfortunately that's the case. I would say here, the best thing that you can do is know your limits. You can help someone, I guess, yeah, but not go above and beyond to the point where you're now obviously a detriment to your own self. Because at least then you've helped in a way, but you've not massacred yourself in the process. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a limit, basically. I liken it to GoFundMes, I guess. We've looked at, I think, stories before where there's been fake GoFundMes. Donate, a bit if you really want to. But if it turns out the GoFundMe was fake, I guess at least you didn't lose a shit ton of money. I don't know. I feel like what I'm saying makes some sort of sense. The next one, this is a very important thing to address, okay? I noticed it at the time, but it didn't click in my head. They blurred the dog's face to protect his identity. I love it. The dog deserves protection as well. Let's get that straight. But I think obviously it's because you could search the image and find it from the dog. So it's interesting that nowadays Victims don't, or the people behind the pictures, right? The pictures. The pictures. What?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, recent episodes, I think for a while now, the people don't necessarily get blurred in the images unless they ask for it to be blurred. So that's interesting. I don't know why it was blurred in this one. I can't off the top of my head, the older episodes, it's been a while since we've watched one of them. I can't remember if they normally do that, or was it just this one? But I do want to get back into watching some of the older ones, just sort of break up the recent vibes. Because the recent, I think it's a given. Most of you probably know that I much prefer the older episodes because they're a lot more chill vibes. So, we're going to be doing a few more of them, I say in the coming weeks. But yeah, in the coming weeks, or something like that. The next one, I'm the only adult in the house. Well, that's debatable. Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I was questioning sack of shit Frank's financial responsibility, I obviously question Kristina's financial responsibility as well, because not only are you driving yourself into a destitute position, but your children as well. You mentioned they're not adults, so I presume that they're not going to have an income that is like similar to yours in a sense. But I could be wrong, of course. Maybe they are like 18 years old and they've got a banging job and whatever. But you're not exactly thinking about them in this instance either. Especially the whole giving your address thing. I think I picked out a comment about that, but we'll move swiftly on, because if we sat here debating whether Kristina is an adult or not, we'd be here forever. Technically, age-wise, I guess. But the rest of it, please, get a grip of yourself. And dare I say, I hope she sought therapy, because there were many points throughout her speaking where I believe we need, or she needs to work on things within herself so that she's not a detriment to herself going forwards. He even asked my favorite color, ma'am, the bar is on the floor. The bar is not on the floor. It's actually descended through Earth's crust and is in hell right now. It's gone so far deep, it's gone past the cave of delusion. That's when you know shit is hitting the fan. That's, I guess, it segues on the whole therapy aspect. Look, falling for someone is a wonderful thing. Falling in love with someone based on commonalities is an even more wonderful thing, which I recommend people do. But then you put an asterisk here again, because the commonalities need to be more than just goodness. We both breathe and eat food. Do you know what I mean? But we're not really dealing with commonalities here. We're dealing with the idea that a favorite color can bring up such enthusiasm in someone. Did you hear the way she sparked herself up? Goodness me, it's like a dog bit her in the ass. Oh, favorite color. Let's get a grip of ourselves here. And it was giving teenager vibes as well, like putting the phone under her pillow, which I don't recommend people do. And it just screamed of desperation. It reeked of it. Oh, goodness, that stinks. Let's start falling for people who ask hard-hitting questions, okay? And in before scammers start asking you philosophical questions. That doesn't mean you fall head over heels because of that. You start questioning everything in the process anyway, but on a more grounded level here, let's stop... what's the word I'm looking for here? Let's stop attributing genuine love to the most mundane, basic questions. All right. You don't fall in love with the cashier who's asking, have you had a good day? Do you know what I mean? Or if you do, then stop buying groceries if that's what you're doing. Hopefully that all makes sense. Next up, thankfully someone also has, actually 694 people, in a sense, have agreed on this. Telling a stranger online your address when there's kids in the house never sits right with me. Thank goodness, I thought maybe I'm doing too much, because I guess some people give out their address to, well, that's not really the same thing if you give your address when you're ordering things online, is it? Maybe people give addresses to, I don't know, people on Discord who they've known for a while or something. But in this regard, I feel like it's different when you've got kids involved. Obviously, please proceed with caution. Shout out to Naomi. Congratulations on the pregnancy, by the way, her and Jimmy. You might be thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Wrestling. It's not a wrestling pregnancy, it's a real one, but they're wrestlers. Shut up. But yeah, just please be cautious with who you're giving your address to. I say, obviously, especially when you have got kids, but just be cautious in general anyway, because you never know what type of person you're speaking to anyway. And, you know, when you meet for the first time, let it be in a public space and whatnot. Him asking, oh, this is important. I missed this completely. The cynical in me missed it. How dare me? Him asking her every day what she had for breakfast, even after her telling him she doesn't eat breakfast, is more of a red flag that he's not paying attention, not a sweet gesture. Devil's avocado, maybe him asking her was some sort of mind games. Maybe she's gonna eat breakfast one day if I keep asking her. But in getting away from devil's avocado, you know, let's step away from the pretentious, evil toast toppings. It's so dumb. I've told you one thing, stop asking me this. You know what I mean? It's like if I told someone, hey, I really love wrestling, which I do. And they say to me, did you watch wrestling? Actually, that's a shit example. I really love a good crispy tofu, yeah? And I say I really love to eat it every other day. And then the scammer's telling me, every horrible examples, and I'm just going to stop right there because I don't think I'm pulling out a good one from my ass. But you get the point. He didn't really seem to be listening to what was actually going on. And obviously, scammers don't give a shit about the conversations because it's so generalized because they're speaking to so many people. They can't memorize personal facts and whatnot. That would be giving them too much credit. The next one, it's an interesting one in quotations, and we're playing it fast and loose with the term interesting, right? No wonder men take advantage of women. Most are completely airheads. There's so much wrong here, all right? First of all, to say most women are completely airheads. Not just complete airheads. Completely. Goodness. They're sponsored by Airheads, the sweets. No, sponsor me though, on a real though. But most women are completely airheads. I don't know how you've attributed most women to that. Get a grip of yourself. Then you're saying that, you know, most women are completely airheads, but you've used completely wrong. No wonder it should be, if you're doing your nonsense grammatically correct. No wonder you've said it, like wandering around a field or something. So, you know, get a grip in that sense. And then, no wonder men take advantage of women. Most are completely airheads. I'm inferring from this that you think it's okay for men to take advantage of women if they are airheads. There's so many layers here that I'm just defecating on this. Ridiculous. I don't know if you are a man or a woman. You know, I don't know if you're a woman doing pick-me vibes, or I don't know if you're a man spreading misogyny. Can women spread misogyny? I feel like they can. Let me know in the comments, of course. I feel like we've covered that sort of discussion before in a video where a victim has been a pick-me. But get a grip of yourself. You know, just because someone, I guess, doesn't understand anything or is being a bit foolish, for example, that doesn't mean someone, oh, no wonder they took advantage. You know, that doesn't mean, you get what I'm trying to say. This comment has pissed me off. we're going to move swiftly on because it's, too early for me to be getting so angry, I guess. I still wanted to believe him. Are you really that desperate? It did give off the vibe that she was. I still wanted to believe him after everything he's done. That doesn't fill me with confidence that you are secure within yourself, but I could be wrong, I hope she addressed that going forwards, but I guess we'll never know, right? If anyone knows Kristina, please let me know in the comments. And I feel like it's very fitting to end on this, and I wanted to end on this. The best advice I can give you, know your worth. Obviously, I'm not saying it's a click of the fingers type job, Thanos style, bang, reverse, instead of self-worth disappearing, it comes back to you. It's not easy, of course, especially, some people have been through a lot traumatic-wise, or maybe they've had their insecurities questioned and they've been bullied for it, for example. So there's a whole variety of reasons that someone doesn't recognize their self-worth, but I can't emphasize enough how much people should learn to recognize it. Even if you are someone who doesn't see it, I hope you learn to see it, because it's very important going forwards, not only, of course, in relationships, but I think in a variety of social situations, in life in general, knowing your worth. Like, let's give the example of you don't feel like you can apply to a certain job because you don't know if you'd be good at it. Despite having the experience necessary, you don't feel like you belong, I guess, in a big company or something. But go for it, Maybe you don't know your worth in terms of, you're chasing a dream and you really are passionate about what you're pursuing. For example, me, I very regularly question my belongingness on this platform, because I obviously am not as talented as some of the amazing people on this platform who create actual good content. But I still question myself, should I even be making these videos? Obviously, you legends keep me going and leave very nice messages, but sometimes I can recognize that maybe you could argue I don't know my self-worth. But it's not about me, it's about you guys, all right? So please recognize your self-worth. Whatever you're chasing in life, go after it. But if you're chasing relationships, don't go after it. There's always context. But know that you're worth a lot more than freaking being treated like freaking trash, bro, by some scummy sack of shit. You know what I mean? And again, if you need professional support, if you're in such a instance, please do seek it. I hope you can escape that bastard, basically. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Little bit maybe different vibes, considering it's a much more older episode and chilled and stuff, but hopefully you did still enjoy. I'll see you guys next time. If there's anything to take away from this, I think as we ended, know your worth. See you guys next time. Bye. What is your favorite color? Drop it in the comments, but don't fall in love, okay?